You're listening to the Rose Talks podcast, the teen experience. Enjoy. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Alright. Trying to see where the rest of the peoples are.
Yo, hello?
Heyo.
Alright.
Hello.
Hold up. So, alright, yeah, I'm gonna go because my friends, they keep DMing me. And
Yeah, it's fine.
Alright, yeah.
Alright, see you. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, peace.
Peace. But while we're waiting, would you like to introduce yourself? Because I'm still recording while waiting.
Yeah, I'm James. I'm from the UK, and I just make kind of funny videos, I guess. Well,
Awesome.
I've only made one, but
Well, yep, this is, I believe, the last episode for season 1 of this podcast. I know I'm going out of order at the moment with, how I'm filming these, but it's purposeful so I can get everything done faster. We're gonna be talking about the pandemic and the lockdown and how it's been affecting everyone.
Hello.
Heyo. Alright. Alright. I'm gonna wait for one last person and then we get into it. Would you like to introduce yourself, Ren?
Oh yeah. What do I say? Yeah, so I'm Ren.
So I guess since we have enough people now, we don't need too many. We'll be talking about the pandemic and, we'll be going into some experiences we've had because of the pandemic. I'll start it off then. So my first experience with the, pandemic is not being able to leave my house. And I haven't left my house probably since 2020, of January, because I knew about this really, really early into the year, which is kind of sad, but I didn't think it was going to hit America, but it did around maybe March, May, I don't know, February, but it hit America, where I live, and we couldn't really do much about it, so we've been stuck in our houses, every once in a while we come out to get, like, food, or, go outside on our balcony, but other than that, pretty much stuck. So,
yeah. In UK, it's not much different. I'm just stuck inside. School's closed. We were back for 3 months, and we had a 1 month lockdown, but schools were still open during that. It wasn't much of a lockdown. Everyone was still going to work. Didn't have much of an effect.
yeah.
Then over Christmas, we were allowed to meet up. Cases have skyrocketed, and now it was over 100,000 a day until we're in a national lockdown again.
Jeez.
I've been off school since January 2020 all the way till I went back in September. And then I was back for a month or two. Then someone got COVID in my school. I was self-isolating because I was near them. And then another 2 weeks, someone else got COVID. I had to self-isolate again. And then our school, because our school got hit really hard by the pandemic, we completely just, the whole school got shut down for a deep cleaning for 2 weeks. Now I went back, and then right before Christmas holidays, the 1 week before, I had to self-isolate again because there was another case, and I haven't been back to school since. So I haven't really done much. I haven't seen any of my friends very good.
Yeah, that's another thing. A lot of people haven't been able to see their friends. That's really rough. For me personally, since I'm homeschooled, I didn't really have to, go outside to go to school or something, because the year before that, that's when I got homeschooled. So I kind of got a little bit lucky with that. But it was very dangerous for everyone else that I knew. And I would say that, when you're in lockdown and basically you eventually will have to go to school, you get kind of anxious, like, oh no, what if this person has COVID? Oh no, what if this guy coughs on me, it's overwhelming. Even now, the last time I tried to go outside, I had a freak out episode because, like, oh shoot, I'm outside. What if I get COVID or something? So I literally immediately after went back home. Like, I haven't left my home because of my anxiousness towards, COVID.
Here in Germany, it's not really, like, it's almost the same. There's nothing much different. Like, the only thing that's maybe different is that at the beginning, we still had to go to school. I mean, at least where I live.
Yeah.
Then we, for, a couple of weeks, we didn't have to go to school. And then we went to school again. I don't really know why. And then now I'm home again. It's pretty weird.
Yeah, it's, like, pretty odd how it's, like, kind of back and forth. It can't pick between if we stay home or we go to school. So, you know?
Yeah.
So I have one question. Have you been more so happy with being home or miserable? Pretty much.
Oh no, I've been so much happier. I
Yeah.
can do what I want. I like during lessons, depending on what lesson it is. If it matters, I'll do it. If it doesn't matter, then I'll just listen to it whilst writing down a few things, but
Yeah.
also playing something or doing something, watching something, whatever.
Mm.
I don't have to, and
I
I'm
mean,
much any. You can wear your own clothes now because my school, like in America, you don't have uniform, or
Yeah.
I know lots of places don't have uniform, but in England, basically everywhere has uniform. There's only a few select schools that don't. I have to wear uniform, so it's much better being able to wear your own clothes. I feel like you're more relaxed. It allows you to learn better because I know when I'm at school, we have like non-uniform days.
Yeah.
I work so much better on those days because I'm actually comfortable and I'm not in this like really tight shirt and tie.
Yeah, 100% get you. I would say the best place
And
to
like
work
I'm probably
sometimes
one
is
of
home.
the
Yeah, continue. Sorry.
yeah I'm one of the only people probably who actually wants the pandemic to last a bit longer because in the summer, my school we're not allowed to wear shorts, so it's like if you're a boy,
Yeah.
girls can wear kilts. I mean, there's nothing to say boys can't wear kilts, but like no one would. So if you did, you'd probably get made fun of. So I'm not going to wear a kilt to school. So I have to wear black trousers, and it's like instead of learning in most of my lessons in the summer, I'm usually focusing on trying to make sure my trousers don't stick to my legs.
Ooh, yeah. Uncomfortable clothing is definitely a problem. When I was in school, I hated it so much. Like, the fact that if you didn't wear something pricey, you'd probably get made fun of. They'd be like, "Oh, look at you, you're not wearing that something,
Yeah, that's why
expensive."
we have uniform over here because
Yeah.
that reason. But it's like also it, if they said to everyone, you've got to wear black jogging bottoms to all the boys. They said
Yeah.
you've got to wear black jogging bottoms. So they said it's got to be like if they said polo shirts, that's not the end of
Mhm.
the world. If they said like black jogging bottoms with it, that's fine because that's actually semi comfortable. Like I have polo shirts that I'll wear
Yeah.
myself because they're comfortable. If they said that to because that's like semi smart, not obviously tracksuit bottoms, but then it would allow you to work better because you're comfortable. And then in the summer they said you can wear shorts, but they have to be like just plain shorts, like by
True.
like Adidas or Nike or something. They'd be fine. And they said like the similar stuff to the girls, and just so that they all then it wouldn't be about that. It would be about you could wear comfy clothes,
Mhm.
that allow you to chill. They're also not like getting made fun of for not wearing anything designer.
Yeah, 100%. The good thing about having uniformal clothing is the fact that you can't get made fun of for wearing something that, a normal or not normal, but someone that has more money would wear, and I think that's why schools like that are one of my favorites, even though the clothing will be uncomfortable. Um, One thing that I remember from school, which probably isn't everywhere, we had certain like, sometimes it was, like, rare event where we would be able to wear, like, pajamas to school or something, It was like a reward our school would get.
Yeah,
So, I remember those days, but I
yeah.
never did it because I felt uncomfortable to
We
wear
have
that
days
outside.
like when you can wear what you want for like if it's for charity. So
Mm,
like sometimes there's a thing in the UK called BBC, which is British Broadcasting Network or Centre,
yeah.
and they do this thing called um, Children in Need. So it helps support places like Africa where people need help and stuff,
Mm,
and to help people go to school. And you're allowed to wear, and you get if you pay £1, which is obviously our money,
mhm.
you can wear what you want. So it's
Awesome.
like and other stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay, Smins. So, Yeah, I like those days, but now since we're home, I think now it's more like we can wear clothes any day, and I love that.
Yeah.
What's your topic? Well, what do you have to say on this, Ren?
I mean, not really much. In our schools, we can't really wear anything except for sweatpants for some reason. Like
Aw,
we have to
man.
wear jeans or something else. I don't really know.
Mhm.
There's this one teacher that doesn't want us to wear sweatpants. Like if she
No
doesn't notice
sweatpants
it, we can
allowed.
wear them. If she doesn't notice it,
So, for me, to go backtrack really quickly, personally, I would say when I go outside, I get more anxious, but when I'm inside, I'm actually the happiest, to be honest. I think my favorite thing about the pandemic is the fact that I don't have to be forced to go somewhere like the store or, hey, let's go shopping for new clothes or something. Like, I don't have to deal with that now. So I'm like, it's calm.
yeah,
So
I hate shopping for new
same.
clothes. I don't know. I don't
I
know
just do
why
it
my
online.
mom just likes it so much.
Yeah. Smins, what do you gotta say on this topic?
Dude, the pandemic is heaven for introverts and antisocials
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely for
like
me.
me. Dude,
So
I
for
haven't
every
had
gamer.
human contact since last year March,
Rip.
other than relatives.
Yeah, that's exactly me so far. I haven't had any content with friends. I actually want to tell a bit of a story. So I had a friend that lived in Puerto Rico, and they just recently moved back to where they originally lived because I knew them from middle school. So we were supposed to meet, but because of the pandemic, I haven't been able to see them. So we went on basically a hiatus of not really talking to each other because they have been getting kind of grounded a lot. So it kind of sucks, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I haven't been able to talk to them because of the pandemic.
Vaccines.
Oh yeah, vaccines. That is a good one.
Yeah. Living in the UK, I
Yeah.
was lucky. We got them approved like 4 weeks before everywhere else in the country.
Oh nice. So you got it
Everywhere else
immediately.
in the world. So we're ahead of everyone. We've got like 200, not 200 million. I think it was 20 million people have been vaccinated. That might be
Mm.
wrong. But we're ahead, but now like there's a shortage of vaccines, and now
Ah.
in the EU are kicking off. So because they're saying that they should, because there was something that happened in the EU, so
Mhm.
that the vaccine production in the EU can't, and now they're saying that we should, because they ordered, but because we
Oh.
were like 3 months before they ordered, so we ordered 3 months before them, so they're giving us our supply, and they're giving us what they were planning on giving us, but the EU are telling them to like they should give some of that to the EU. But
Yeah, I get you. Does EU stand for Europe or somewhere else? I'm not 100% sure.
European Union. So it's
Okay.
like, so the EU is like you're either in or you're out. So in the UK we just left. We left last year because we voted to leave. But
Mm.
I think it was better to leave because, well, it's just my opinion. I'm not going to get into it. It's
Yeah.
cool. I don't even vote anyway.
Mhm.
But so we left, and now we're separate from them, which means we have different laws, and that's why we were able to approve the vaccine so much sooner then. Because if we didn't, we'd be in such a worse situation right now because we'd be having to share our vaccine with the EU,
Yeah.
and we would have had signed it at the same point because we don't have the power to if you're part of the EU.
Yeah. You guys want to talk about Karens? No?
Yes, we could.
I mean, yeah, we could. I'm saying like does anyone want to like
They need to
just
be they need to be designated as a whole other species, man.
So, I have one thing to point out about vaccines and then, there's the Karens. So these guys, instead of taking the vaccine or wearing the mask, they decide to cough on people and,
Oh
just be
yeah.
absolute a-holes. So, what do we do about people like them when everyone else wants to get better and they want to get worse?
But they're
We
just
could
idiots.
have
So the
Yeah.
problem in the UK is that we have free healthcare everywhere, which is
Yeah.
not a problem. It's good, but
Beautiful.
they're the ones who end up costing our resources. But if you're in America, it's probably less of a problem because you have to pay for your healthcare. So if they get ill,
Yeah.
then they're going to be in debt for life. Whereas in the UK, people don't care because they don't have to pay.
Yeah. It's so sad. In America, we have the most amount of Karens ever, and I would hate to say it, but out of everywhere else in the world, America is just filled with ignorant people. Like, I kid you not. The minute I heard about COVID, like this is back in January, maybe late December, like right when it was just in China and nowhere else, I was like, America's gonna be the worst state ever because I know how ignorant we are and I know exactly how like
Wasn't Trump at the time saying, "Oh, it's like he was not
yeah.
telling people to wear masks and stuff"? So
Yes, he was basically a Karen.
that's caused.
It was horrible. He made it worse than it could have been. If we had
Mm.
more people calling out COVID when, when it wasn't as serious, America would have done so much better than it has. And I believe we lost, I'm just talking about globally. I think the whole world has lost at least 100K, maybe a million. I don't know, but it was a lot of people. And it was super
Million.
sad. A
I
million.
mean, it's been well over a million, I think, because I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
UK might have passed a million. Right? Sorry, no, it might have been 100,000.
Yeah.
UK
Look,
COVID.
if some YouTuber decides to start a leaderboard, those live leaderboards, like
Yeah.
like Roy Lab with his coronavirus statistics. If somebody did that,
Yeah.
with war crimes and casualties, dude, America would climb that list so fast.
Exactly. Oh
In fact, they'd fly
gosh.
over to Syria and just start there.
True.
It's
Mm.
toxic
There's been
patriotism.
Yeah, and every time Trump, our last president, he would immediately call the virus the Ching Chong, the Chinese virus or something, which is
Yeah.
very disrespectful because it's not their fault.
very racist.
It is very
No.
racist.
Really.
And on top of that, it's really like I'm not gonna blame the whole thing of COVID on him, but I blame him for the fact that his own people died because he said don't wear masks, like COVID isn't real or something in the beginning. And that's why so many
Yeah.
people are gone because of him. Because people were like, oh, okay, maybe I should believe him.
Well,
I feel bad. Yeah.
I'm not angry that he told his supporters not to wear a mask. He's actually doing us a favor
For not wearing the mask?
for telling his supporters not to wear a mask.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I was about to
Yeah.
say.
but then,
Yeah,
but then the
bye-bye.
problem is that if they get ill, then the hospitals have to waste their resources on
Exactly.
those people, instead of actually they could be saving actual properly smart in the head people.
Yeah, exactly. For me personally, the minute I heard about COVID, I was like, I'd rather be safe than sorry. People that are like, oh, well, if there's a chance it isn't real, why should I even care, you know? Like, I'd rather be the type of person to be safe than sorry than not at all. So,
I had the same mentality,
yeah.
and I started wearing those masks at school since February,
Yeah.
and then turns out my classmates were Karens too.
Ah.
No.
Oh no.
I mean, I
Damn.
was so we were getting told at school. So all the teachers had to wear masks. When we walk around our school now, we have a one-way system.
Yeah.
So when we first went back in September, they segregated it into year groups.
Mhm.
Then they decided you didn't have to wear a mask at that point. I was, because I was a smart person. There was a couple of people, and then
Mhm.
there was actually a time where they said you weren't allowed to wear a mask in class to start off with. Then cases started to go up a bit. Then they said, oh, you can wear a mask in class.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I wore a mask, and I actually got told to take it off in a class because they didn't believe that we'd been told we could be allowed. But I don't even think even if we weren't told we were allowed, that they can legally. So I had to take it off because otherwise people would just sent me down to OTR.
Oh gosh. You know what that really
Just
means?
tension and
Yeah.
explosion.
That truly to me is like the whole education system is like murder the kids first. That's what that sounds
Yeah.
like to me.
But
Gosh.
we don't even get hit. Apparently, 16-year-olds or up to 18-year-olds don't get hit badly by it. We also
Yeah.
can't have the vaccine at the moment. But the thing with that is, that's just the amount of people. That's because we're adaptations of our parents. So
Yeah.
we're stronger than our parents scientifically, because we're the next generation of people. So we're our parents who maybe have gone through these different diseases
Yeah.
have then passed on their antibodies to us, and we've developed our own antibodies, which is like what
Mm.
stops diseases. But and that's why we don't get hit badly by it. But there are some people who don't have those antibodies, and people can, and like 14-year-olds can get hit really hard by it, and so can.
Yeah.
But they're just saying most people don't. But they're not
Mhm.
considering those. They're saying, oh, most people don't. So so schools can go back, but then they're not considering those small 5%, 10% of people that could get hit badly by it. So all those people have to go to school when it could possibly kill them.
Ah, that's messed up. Well, I want to say one thing, just to backtrack again. Because I remember what Smins was saying about, like, there was Karens in his class. My mom, when, we first heard about COVID, she went to the store with a mask on because she was like, I'm not getting COVID. So she went into a store with a mask on right before they even talked about, like, I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks before they talked about it. And anyway, she's in the store, she's walking with a mask on. People were like, oh, this is weird. Why is she wearing a mask? Right? And then this guy, he has no clue why she's wearing this mask. None at all. Like, she could have been sick, anything. He goes up to her and coughs on her face. Literally coughs on her face. And, ooh, that made her so mad. Because he has no clue why she's wearing the mask. He doesn't even know what COVID is yet. But yet he has the nerve to cough on this person just to be ignorant. It's like, wow. Makes no
Yeah.
sense. And then 2 or 3
And
weeks later, boom, COVID is in America. So I hope that guy feels sorry for what he did.
Yeah. I mean, at the start, we weren't that like when it was like 40 cases in our country. We were like, oh, okay, it's not that bad because they were telling us exactly where the cases were. So they were saying
Mhm.
there's like 26 in London and all over the country or whatever,
Yeah.
wherever they were tested positive at. So we knew they weren't near us, so we were okay. But then when it was hitting like 100, 200 cases a day, that's when we started being more cautious because it was they weren't. That was the point. There was too many cases to tell us. And when it hit 10,000 cases a day, that was when the lockdown was announced. But they
Yeah.
believe, because we weren't mass testing at that point, they believe it was 100,000 cases a day. But
Yeah.
they just only knew 10,000 cases because they couldn't test that many.
I believe they knew the exact cases where I live too. A lot of people where I live were traveling a lot. And this is the main reason why COVID spread so fast. Because of airplanes, of course, and you know how airplanes are. They go like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there," traveling everywhere. So a lot of people where I live, it kind of hit me first because I'm like on the east side of America, where New York and all those
Yeah.
places are. So a lot of people, I guess, travel over there. So it hit me first, I believe, and whew, it was spreading. It was spreading like crazy. Um, I think the worst thing about COVID was when it spread to city. So it would hit New York City, it hit LA, it hit like literally all the big places. But surprisingly, I don't think a lot of people died though. But it went like a wildfire, and it went
I think
as many places as possible.
the easiest way to have stopped it was if when as soon as we learned about this COVID vaccine, the COVID thing being spread in China and it's
Yeah.
spreading rapidly, that point, you shut the border from China. Anyone
Yeah.
flying in from China is they can't come in
Mhm.
unless they're a UK citizen who is out there on holiday or
Yeah.
like a citizen of that country, wherever you're living, and they need to get back, then you send planes out there that have been wiped down, everything, vaccines and everything. They go out with no passengers on them,
Yeah.
and then you you get those people back into the country. And as soon as
100%.
you as soon as you hear it spread to this country, you close the border from that country. And I think if they did that, this is what New Zealand and Australia did instantly. And if they did that
Yeah.
in every country in the world, there would not be this pandemic right now. If
that
Exactly.
everyone
would be
did it in
difficult.
New Zealand and Australia.
But you know why
Yeah,
it
that
was
would be
so difficult?
difficult.
Yeah, but you know why it was so
Tourism.
difficult? Yeah, not just
Yeah.
tourism. the main reason why it was so hard was because of how weird COVID was. So you wouldn't know about you having COVID the first couple days. You'd actually know about it, like, I think the third, maybe second day of having
People
COVID,
didn't
I
even
think.
get symptoms.
Yeah, some people didn't even get symptoms. If you're just a carrier, you will not know if you have
Yeah.
COVID or not. So you're going to be flying it around, passing it around, and you have no clue whether or not you have it. So that was the worst thing about it. And plus, they weren't even doing COVID tests. So if they had COVID tests back then, they could keep testing people, and that would have helped a lot. But unfortunately, we weren't predicting the future. So
Out of
that's why
all
it
the
was so hard.
countries, it started in China with like almost all of the world's tourists.
Yes.
That country has like 90% of all the tourists. You go anywhere
Yep.
and you go anywhere, you want a tour of country, you're gonna find Chinese people there, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. If you want to, and the worst thing about touring China is the fact of how huge it is. It's one of the biggest continents out there. And it's like, whew, couldn't imagine.
It's got one of the biggest populations in the world.
Yeah.
And I think in the UK, so this is put in perspective, this is how stupid it is in the UK.
Yeah.
The UK has a smaller landmass than the state of Florida,
Oh
but we
gosh.
have almost 6 times the amount of people. I think they have 5 million. No, we must have like 10 times the amount of people. They have 5 million people living there, or 10, something like that, 10 million, 5 to 10 million, and we
Yeah.
have like 60 million here, and we have a smaller landmass than Florida.
Goodness. It was crazy though, to be honest. Like,
The pandemic had
yeah.
my best retribution story
Hold
for
on.
months,
Yeah.
for like weeks. For weeks, I was how do you put this? My teachers, my principals, they would antagonize me. I would always be paid attention to and
Goodness.
nitpicked on because of the mask. And before I was literally ignored.
Bruh.
Before, I was literally covert. Nobody would pay attention to me. Nobody would really care. And then as soon as you put something that ticks them off, that makes them think that makes them think, oh, you're different again. And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to protect me and you.
Exactly. What's so wrong about that?
My science teacher would be like, yo, I wiped the tables. You don't need to wear that. And I'm like, no.
I'll be like, I'm rather be safe than
I wiped
sorry.
the table. Did you wipe people's breath though?
That's true.
Wipe their mouths with Lysol.
Yeah. Did you stick a
Anyways,
soap bar in their mouth?
the principal, she came up to me and literally singled me out of what 50
Jeez.
people just to tell me that my school district was that you didn't need to wear any protection. It's fine. Everything's all good.
That's the
You
same
don't
thing
need to
as
be so concerned. Did your parents force you to wear it? And I'm like, just let me be, please. Just let
for
me.
real.
And that would go on and on for like weeks until we had a break. And then it was like a week-long break, and then they said, you're not coming back to school. And dude, I was so happy. I didn't get to see their faces anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, there's this
Anyways,
one thing. Yeah. Continue? Sorry.
Yeah. My friends, that's when you realize who's really your friend and who's not.
Yeah. It really showed people's colors. True colors. Goodness.
A lot of the people who the weirdest part was most of the people that actually dipped on me were my longtime friends. So you can say goodbye to them. And since they would reduce contact with me, they would literally just not hang out anymore.
Oof.
They would see me as a liability because of my methods. And then the newer friends that I had, because here middle school is like just 2 years. So the newer friends I had only for like a year, they ended up being the ones that were supportive, which was the crazy part, because the long-term friends literally just dipped. Anyways, fast forward July, August, we were receiving report cards, and what do you know? Those idiots were all wearing masks.
Yeah.
The principal wearing
They
a mask, the teachers wearing masks. I'm like, okay.
they knew better now. Goodness. That's how people are. They'll tell you how to feel, how to act, and then watch. They have to do the same thing. It's like crazy. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but, you know, it's just whenever you're doing something no one else is doing, you're always gonna be that one, "Oh, you're weird. Oh, that's odd. Why are you doing this? Why are you over" Yeah, it's like, why are you trying to be different? You know what I'm saying? It's like too much. I don't know. It's
Be
just
one with the crowd.
yeah, it's like be one with the crowd. You're not acting like us. What is wrong with you?
Often the people who make fun of you are often the people who want to who want to do the same actions as you, but because of peer
Facts.
pressure they won't. So like some people who want to wear a mask, but because no one else is, or because only 2 people are, they won't.
It's so sad. It's the bystander effect, to be honest. I was learning about that the other day. I watched this video where they set up themselves as like a homeless drunk person who was like dying on the floor. It's kind of extreme, but it's like in public and they're acting like they're dying. People are just walking past. They don't even care. They're like, "Oh, that guy's weird looking," and then they just walk past him until this one woman, she's just like, "Hey, are you okay?" And then a bunch of other people start coming out. They're like, "Hey, are you okay? Are you okay?" But then watch this. They do the same effect on a guy who looks, you know, all classy. He's wearing like a tuxedo. And he's on the floor. He's acting like he is having a rough day. Everyone, literally everyone, they all just start coming over. And I guess it's because they wouldn't want to go near some random homeless dude than a guy in a tuxedo.
They're scared of the
Yeah.
people.
Kids I didn't
'Cause
even
people
know
have
were coming up to me.
stereotypes.
Yeah.
It's
Stereotypes.
people stereotyping homeless people and saying like they're violent. They can be violent. Like they've heard stories of maybe people being violent,
True.
and they're like, "Oh, he's gonna be violent
Yeah.
because he is the same person." You know,
Yeah.
he's not, or she's not.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the difference. It's all about bystander effect, and whoever starts it up first, everyone else will come like sheep. Because in this world, it's either you be yourself or you be everyone else, and you won't get anything done because you're trying too hard to be something you're not. And I think that's the beauty of life when you can do something that no one else is doing just because you have that, you know, strong urge and you're not trying to give in to what everyone else is doing. Just like my mom, you know. I'm very proud of her for, you know, when she heard it, oop, wear a mask instantly. Even though people were like, ugh, that's weird. Oh, why are you doing that? And especially for you, Sim, you did that in school where you knew half of these people, and that is crazy that they all, you know, start acting like Karens. Ew, why are you wearing a mask? Like, gosh. That's some of
Again,
the
people I didn't know were walking up to me telling me, "Hey, those don't work. You're being dumb." And I'm like, "All right, cool."
yeah. The haters are
Like
gonna hate.
they probably thought I was an attention whore or something, but but they're the one giving the attention to me.
That's true.
I'm just walking. I'm just walking here. I'm not even looking at you, and you're the one
Mm-hmm.
going, "Hey."
For real. Honestly, if I was in public school right now, I would have worn the mask just when I first heard about it, like in January, but I was homeschooled, so it didn't really matter. Because not only just because, you know, do something before it gets out of hand, is also because I have asthma. So if I ever got affected, I'm immediately going to like probably bleh, you know, dead, gone.
Yikes.
So yeah, so when you have asthma and you are supposed to be, you know, like the next generation of, oh, you'll be fine if you were to get COVID. I'm still not gonna be okay. So whether or not I'm the next generation, my asthma would kill me basically just because I have it. So unfortunately, well, it's kind of like it's a good and bad thing because unfortunately that means I have to be more careful than literally anyone else I know. But at the same time, it's also a good thing because I could learn about ways to protect myself that other people won't try to because it's like, oh, I'm fine, how I am. So basically, right when we heard about COVID of the beginning of last year, we just instantly just made sure nothing could get in our house. And I live in an apartment, so when you live in an apartment and you're close by to other people, you have to be as careful as possible. So we went the extreme route of this and kind of became germophobic, like really germophobic. So we would spray the we would spray the doors with like bleach or whatever cleaning product you would use, I guess. Not bleach, what is it called? Alcohol. Not literal alcohol, but yeah. So we would spray the doors with alcohol, whether it was the front door or the door to get inside the building. And it's just like, we even covered the vents. Like, this is how crazy we got with it. I don't think we don't really do that anymore.
It's not crazy.
Yeah.
We did that too.
Yeah, we literally covered the vents to make sure that other people that were breathing in their houses wouldn't get into ours. And it just went that much for us. We just really wanted to be sure. Nowadays we have these type of neighbors where they really don't care and they will throw their trash right outside. And the worst part of all about these neighbors is that one of them works at a hospital. And we know this because we could overhear them talking in like where they were at. And we're like, oh shoot. So it just added on to our germophobicness. So then we sealed our door. Every time we want to go out, we have to unseal it. And we would seal it back so we didn't get any air. Like anyone would cough on our door. But anyway, we just made sure every time we would just cover ourselves up like we were going to a science lab. That's how much we were. But anyway. Oh, my brother's
My
being loud.
mom was a my mom was a healthcare worker.
Yeah.
She was like a nurse at some point, and then she was a caregiver at some point. Anyways,
Mhm.
she right at the start of January when she heard about the virus, she it's like the whole thing turned upon itself. It's like her mind just flipped upside down, and now she was buying masks. She's buying all sorts of cleaning stuff. She became like the highest form of germaphobe you would ever meet. Everything was scrubbed, everything was sprayed, doorknobs, even her phone would be scrubbed. Literally everything. Our jackets
Wow, that's
would be
crazy.
steamed.
Yeah.
She wore gloves whenever she was going to the grocery.
Yeah, that's my mom too. She still does that.
We just get deliveries, so you have to go out.
Yeah.
I don't
She did that
they
once
offer
or
in
twice too.
America. We do. We get deliveries every week where I am, and I'm lucky. I
And
live in a massive. It's not massive, but like it's 3 stories and it's detached, completely
Yeah.
detached house. And we're on the end of a road. We're on the end of like our road. Well, there's a path next to our house on one side, and on one side we have the neighbours. But those neighbours are really nice and they're clean, and we talk to them a lot, and we're good friends with them.
Mhm.
So we know they're not going to be stupid, so we don't have to worry about people being dumb. And most people around where we are pretty smart about it. But we had
Mhm.
so we went from where I live. We went from having no cases or like minimal cases, like 1 or 2 per 100,000, to the second highest in the country.
Jeez.
It was ridiculous how quickly it just skyrocketed because they
Yeah.
had this weird tier lockdown thing. So you'd have like tier 3. We were in tier 1 because we had no
Mhm.
cases, and because there's restrictions in tier 1 with like nothing, it just skyrocketed, and we then went to tier 3, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Goodness. Yeah, it was calm for a while. I was like, oh, look at me. I'm really quiet. And then boom, out of nowhere, COVID just took over. It's like screaming at everyone. It was crazy.
It really reflects the
Yeah.
incubation period.
Yeah, it does.
Mm.
Whew. So, I have a question again.
Washing hands became a ritual.
Yeah,
you know.
that is true. I don't know why I don't know why so many people didn't wash their hands. Now that is the most disgustingest part I've heard. They
I
really,
don't get why people
yeah,
aren't washing their hands in the first place.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
That
why do
is
you need the
disgusting.
pandemic to be told to wash your hands?
Exactly. That is nasty. Okay, like it's not as bad if you're a girl. Like, yes, you should wash your hands as well. But if you're a guy, you have to hold like, to pee. So imagine not washing your hands as a dude and you're going to go get some food right at the moment you pee. Like I couldn't imagine that. So, here's my question. How long do you think the pandemic will last?
Well,
I'm hoping in a year and a half, so I'd have to do my end of school exams.
Goodness.
But it'd probably be
well,
like another. Well, if you think about it, because
Yeah.
school they don't have a vaccine for under 16s. It's well, I mean, I don't think it's ever gonna go away. Not for the next 50 years, because it's
Mhm.
always gonna be. It's a new flu.
Yeah.
It's a new flu. It's always gonna be there. It's just gonna be on a less of a scale, like the flu. So it's gonna be like, instead of being 100,000 cases, it's gonna be 2,000 cases a day, but it's spread out more. It's not focused in one locations.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot less.
Yeah, I hope so.
But it's never going to go away. But the main part of it's probably going to go away, I reckon, next year or 2022 or no, 2022, end of 2022, because of the fact that under 16s there's no vaccine for us.
Yeah.
And they're not vaccinating in, like, UK. I don't know if it's the same. They're vaccinating the older generations because they're more vulnerable. But that means the people who are working aren't vaccinated, so they're gonna then spread it.
Yeah. I think the main reason why we can't get it yet is mainly because how new this vaccine is. And the scariest part about knowing about this vaccine is scientifically vaccines usually take 10 to 15 years to make. So they really speeded this up.
we made it in 2.
Yeah.
Not even 2.
Yeah,
1.
they made it in like a month.
Yeah, in
Not
a month.
Sorry, a year.
Yeah, and it just took a
Well,
year.
within a month, there was like 4 vaccines. The first one, the Pfizer, then you had the Oxford one, and then there's like another 2 that are now or like a safe, but
I believe Moderna.
they haven't cleared it officially yet. But
Yeah.
Well, vaccines take a while.
Yeah.
You have to, even after developing it, you have to license it, you have to send it to the manufacturers, and after that, you have to test it again. You have to keep changing it, and then if the virus mutates, you have to do that all over again. So
yeah, it's like there's so many branches now.
How many variants of it is there? There's like a South African variant. There's 100 cases of that in the UK. I know.
Yeah, I have no clue how
and
many.
That's spreading up. There was like a new variant. We've got like at one point in the UK they discovered a new variant that had, and all of the borders were shut. They weren't letting anyone from the UK anywhere. Like, it was always the other countries were trying to stop the variant from getting in, but it just spread anyway.
Yeah, there's so many. I can't even think of it because I believe maybe there's 10, maybe higher than that, but there's a lot, and having to make so many different types of vaccines would take more than just 15 years probably. So I'm just gonna lay out just one fact. The Spanish flu actually lasted 2 years. So it's a possibility since now, and this was back in like 1918 through 1920. So this is the scariest part about COVID in 2020 and like 2021 and so forth, is mainly because we have newer technologies where we can go and travel to place, you have more and more ignorant people. And the fact when you have ignorant people plus airplanes, it really makes getting rid of this harder than it should be. And I think that's the saddest part. So I believe the fastest way we can get rid of, being in a pandemic would be if we arrested these people. Like, get rid of all the Karens at once. Like, start it
Well,
off with give one a
they
death
can't
row
though.
for killing
The
so many
problem is
people. Yeah.
the problem is though you can't they have to legally pass a law, because otherwise if you're arresting it, then it's the person who arrested them could get fired,
Yeah.
because technically it's not a law. So if you arrest someone for no reason, that can get you fired and fined and put in prison,
Yeah, it's true.
because it's abuse of power.
True.
So they'd have to make it a law, and then that law might take a week or a month to pass. You don't know.
I was thinking that they should. Yeah, I was thinking they should do that first. But yeah, that's what I meant. Like, if Biden right now for my president, you know, if he made the law in America to do that, that would help. And if you're, do you have a queen and
Boris.
yeah, you have
Yeah,
like
it's
a
the
monarchy.
Queen has ultimate power. As far as this is
Yeah.
my belief, this is my understanding of it. The Queen has ultimate power. Boris Johnson, who's our Prime Minister, has the power to pass laws, but he needs the Queen's permission to pass those laws, and it also has to go through the House of Commons, which is like where all the MPs who have been voted in by the public are put, and they all have to. You have to get the majority for it to pass.
Okay, I got you. So if they were to pass it, then they could arrest people, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what about in Germany, Ren? Like, what do you guys have to do? You have a president or something? You're cutting out, huh?
I don't really know much, you know. I'm pretty uneducated, yeah.
That's okay. So I would just guess basically globally we'd have to pass this this whole world law where you have to arrest people if they don't like try to protect themselves and other people, I guess. Because in my opinion, I feel like letting people not wear a mask or take a vaccine or just not be quarantined, they should be arrested, and it should be labeled as murder or something, like some sort of not secondhand, but just some sort of murder, you know what I'm saying? Because with them going around, yeah, it's like absolute
unintentional murder.
Yeah, exactly. So them trying to murder people unintentionally would basically just be them not trying to protect themselves or anyone else. And it should be the case of you're arrested. Like, I don't know how long they should be arrested, but they don't even know how many body counts they have on them. But they could have killed like 100 people and they have no clue. That's just how I see it. That's the saddest part.
Imagine developing a vaccine, being a researcher, being a virologist, developing a vaccine, spending days working on something, cutting off your sleep to mere 2 hours per day, and literally starving yourself just to heal the world. And once you send out your vaccine, some redneck goes, "Nah, I read on Facebook that this doesn't work. There's a chip in there." And you just stand there with a year of your life gone.
You got these people where they don't believe in they don't believe in COVID, they don't believe in getting vaccinated, they don't believe in anything, right? They just think, oh no, if I try to protect myself or anyone else, I will die, they will die, the whole world will die. And this is the saddest part about this. These people are allowed to roam free while these nurses are risking their lives every day to protect people that actually didn't want to get COVID, but they got it because some dummy was like, yo, I love Trump, and all this will get me killed or something. So, I have another, question. So, with the pandemic, I'm pretty sure a lot of people had goals and ideas for the future, but then it got, basically crushed like an anvil on Minecraft. So, what was like a goal you might have had that got ruined because of the pandemic?
So I play football or soccer, whatever I call it, football, something in the UK. So I play football, and we were the best team in the league. We were top of the league. We were in a cup final, and it all got called off, cancelled. None of it wasn't. The cup final wasn't even postponed because we played some matches. They could have postponed it, But no, it just completely got cut off. But now, so I lost all that, and that was quite demoralizing because we'd worked so hard towards that, our whole team. Like the season before, so we'd come up from Division 4 to Division 2 because they got rid of the division, so we jumped up a division.
Yeah.
So that was weird, and so we stayed in that. We were focusing on staying in that league the season before. We did that, and then we were like working so hard in the preseason to make sure we were doing the best we could, and we were like everyone was putting their bodies on the line for the team. But it just all got undone because of that stupid pandemic.
Yikes.
I had a goal too. Like, you guys know CrossFit?
CrossFit. Is it a sport?
I mean, yeah, it's like
Oh.
like you go to like it's like a gym, but there's a person telling you what to do. I don't really know. Yeah.
Like a personal trainer.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
okay.
much, but it's like with other people. And you have
A
like
coach? Is that like
I
I
don't
don't
really
know.
know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's
It's
okay.
like a lot of people where you can also make friends. I was in like two of those places because they're like different. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really know. So for
Yo.
the first one, basically they took away our money, so I had to go to a different one. They just didn't want to give back our money. Yeah, basically. So and the next one, I wanted to get like work out, get really jack muscles and everything. But then it all COVID and it all closed down, and it was pretty sad. And then I didn't
Yeah.
have any motivation to work out alone because that's just boring. You don't really have anyone to be like, yeah, I can do it, and.
Yeah.
It's just it's just it's just quiet. There's nobody.
Yeah, I
So I
get
think
it.
that sucks.
Yeah. That does suck. For me personally, and then I'll let you talk, Smins. So, personally for me, I was trying to like work on what do you call it? I was trying to work on a lot of not topics, what do you call it? A lot of career choices at once, which is kind of crazy idea to do because you should always stick to one. So, not only do I want to do YouTube and like a podcast, I also want to become an actor. So, me and my friend, they're also trying to get in acting. They were like modeling in the beginning. And I'm over here, I'm like, oh, I also want to be an actor. So my plan was to go local and well also want to be an activist, so I gotta figure out what to talk about. Anyway, so I wanted to be an actor, so I tried to go and find things locally in the beginning. Couldn't do that after the pandemic, and I also was trying to become a activist. So I had an idea of, posting these like things all around my town. Also was going to do that with the podcast as well. I was going to post these flyers, and I still will. I just have to figure out right time. But anyway, I was trying to figure out how I can get into activism without, getting sick. And because it got so bad where you literally have to be inside almost half the time where I live now because it's like it was spreading a lot back then, but I couldn't go anywhere. So, after the fact I couldn't do activism outside, and I couldn't do acting well, I couldn't get, like, a acting coach or anything. I just had to stick to watching, like, YouTube and courses and stuff because I couldn't actually get into acting anywhere else. And so, with that, I basically canceled those plans, and I even had, like, a boyfriend at the time, and I was supposed to meet them because, online dating, anyway. I was supposed to meet them, but then COVID happened, and then I couldn't meet them, and then it ended up becoming a huge spiral downwards with that, so I don't want to go into that. But, yeah, so it did mess up a lot of plans, and maybe even a possible, like, future in acting. I probably could get into it, but who knows. But anyway, yeah. Anyone else? Smins?
Dude, the duality of this is actually quite frankly amazing. The pandemic is actually a lifesaver for me because
Mhm.
By the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020, my mental state was deteriorating fast. Everything ramps up
Yeah.
during that time period. I get sick during that time period, physically, and this time I wasn't only physically sick, but I was also I wasn't good. I
Mentally,
wasn't
yeah.
feeling good. Started becoming a little bit more suicidal.
Yeah.
Then attempted, survived,
Thank
and
goodness.
then I was like, hey, I didn't die. Guess this is a message, you know?
Mhm.
Anyways, past is past. That happened, and then the pandemic happened, and really, before the pandemic, I was leaving a sort of dysfunctional home to go to an oppressive school, and then repeat,
Yeah.
rinse and repeat. As soon as I'd come home, I'd go to sleep because dreaming was honestly better than,
Escapism, yeah.
yeah. So going to sleep, going to bed, and then waking up, and then just
Rinse
playing
and repeat.
games, and literally my
Yeah.
existence was a blur. Then cut to the pandemic, my existence was still a blur, but I got to analyze the situation a bit better because now I didn't have to care about having to go anywhere. I could literally wake up when I wanted to. I could do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I focused on myself.
And that is awesome.
I guess it was, but then you realize,
Yeah, it
you're a
didn't
lot
go good
worse
for
than you really
everyone.
are. But anyways, the pandemic gave me a lot of time, hours, days, to really reflect and change. Because change is really all I've ever done. I've changed for people, even if it detrimented me, because really, I guess, I'm just that kind of person.
Yeah.
But sometimes it bites back at you. And yeah, the pandemic, as the pandemic went on and on and on, everything just began to stabilize again,
Yeah.
Everything was going in the direction it was supposed to. So it was better for me, terrible for so many other people in this world. I guess I'm
Yeah.
just one of those people who it was sort of it's sort of a Roman holiday kind of thing. Everybody suffers, but I get a free pass kind of thing. Because if the pandemic never happened, I probably would have still been a prick.
Yeah, I get it.
I probably still would have,
Mhm.
not been sane. I probably would have been more insane than what I am
Yeah.
now.
I feel you. To be honest, in a lot of aspects, it messed with my career and a relationship. But at the same time, it's opened my eyes to so many other possibilities. Being at home isn't just a good thing in a way because I'm already introvert, so I didn't really like talk to people already. But the fact that I get to stay home and like many others get to stay home when they're introverted, you can really think about what you want to do when it comes to, yourself and with people around you because while you have, the people that show their true colors, like some of your friends, Smins, and people I've known, it really does help because then you can look at the people you already know and be like, hey, these people are actually here for me. They're not just trying to use me to get something else, or they're not manipulating me into doing what they want. And when you have that type of freedom, even if it's just, a pandemic that's killing multiple people, and it's helping you, even if it's, just a little bit, in a way, it's freeing because, while many other people, they might not be freed by this, it might be affecting them. It's helping someone that was suffering for a while also. And I feel really bad for the people that are suffering because of the pandemic. Like, I'm very sorry. But in some aspects, it was helpful for people that were like having a pretty crappy time. For some, not
For some
everyone.
of us, it's like to some of us, it's just finding solace in a bad situation, pulling out
Yeah.
something good from something bad.
Yeah.
It's the epitome of one man's treasure is another man's
Trash. Or
trash.
yeah.
You know, if you have it hard, somebody else is having the best life ever.
That's true.
Like, I'm talking to you, Jeff Bezos, but you know,
Wall Street's having a pretty bad time
we
right
all
now
have
too.
it differently. But for the most of us, it's a terrible experience.
Yeah.
Family members are dying. Jobs are
100%.
being lost. People are getting sadder, especially during the winter time when there's no sun.
Yeah.
Just a melancholy feeling of existing within a world that's progressively getting worse and worse, and all you hear on the news is
Bad.
bad, bad, bad.
Bad, bad, bad. Oh no. Yeah. That's true. When everything feels like it's falling apart, but you're the only one standing or like, on a cliff trying to get up, it's kind of okay sometimes, it's like it could be like the world could be at the worst state of its entire life right now. Like we have global warming, we have a pandemic over our heads, we have suicide every day almost now, and I'm pretty sure it's going to keep getting worse because, we're on lockdown. In some aspects of this, it's also helping the earth in a way because originally when the pandemic wasn't where I was, it wasn't really global yet. I had this theory like, oh wait, if everyone was in lockdown, no one can hunt and, destroy the earth because there's people that drive to work every day. There's going to be less people driving to work. Unfortunately, people lost their jobs, but it kind of helped the environment. Even if it didn't help people itself, humanity, it helped the earth when it needed it the most because, there's the pollution in the air with the cars, the fumes from industries and all that. With the industries being shut down, with, cars just, not driving to work every day, you have this type of new atmosphere for the planet because it's like, okay, I get to finally relax for once. The planet's like, I can breathe again. And then you have these animals where no one's hunting them, and they're giving birth at a rapid rate. So you know how many animals probably that were about to go extinct probably got saved or saved themselves because they like, ooh, let's go. And
Probably lots, actually.
yeah, probably lots. Unfortunately, we lost the Rio birds. I think they're extinct now.
The vaquitas are now down to 10.
Yeah.
There's
pretty
bad.
bad.
Species of they're like a subspecies of dolphins. Anyway, it's
Yeah.
extremely rare. There's only 10 of them left, and
Yeah.
they're really cool, but it's a shame, really.
I think the main reason why they're gone is because of how many people get fish. I think we lose about 10 trillion a year, maybe a month, I don't know. But 10 trillion fish every couple of months, years, whatever, is a lot. And I'm pretty sure every once in a while they'll probably pick up a dolphin or, some rare species of animal in there.
Yeah, that's what happened to the vaquitas.
Yeah.
So, the vaquitas are located by the area around Mexico and Florida, or was it no? It's by California and Mexico, or one or the other. But the Mexican fishers and American fishers would use these nets.
Yeah.
That that caught a lot of fish, but were super large. So they would catch vaquitas too. And it's gone on for so long that now there's basically none of them left, and they're very hard to breed.
Oh no. Yeah.
So you might as well call them extinct, but still trying to, because I believe only 5 years ago there were 20 of them.
Oh dang.
Now it's cut down to 10. So conservation efforts, blah blah blah, people putting in money to save these things.
Yeah. Why would they need to put in money for them when all you gotta do is just trap them in like a aquarium place and make them breed? Like, right? Is it hard to make them
You don't
breed?
have the money
so.
to
Yeah,
feed them.
But
true.
the difficulty with capturing the animals is that
Um,
you'd have to basically recreate their habitat because being
yeah.
there are only 10 of them left, you want to make it efficient for them, right? To,
Yeah.
breed, to reproduce. But seeing as there's only 10 of them, and probably most of them are either way too mature to have offspring or way too young to have offspring, you're
Mhm.
gonna have to it's gonna be expensive to keep it up for even 5 years or 2 years.
True. It's like milking cows. Like, you gotta keep going at it until they can't no more. Gosh.
Conservation efforts do work though,
Yeah.
but you just need somebody
Yeah.
rich to fund it
True.
Bezos.
because you can't go in half-assed,
Yeah, that's
send the
true.
dolphins into a aquarium, and it's nothing like their habitat. And
Yeah.
all 10 of them will just end up dying.
Because they get stressed out, yeah. They're like, oh, I don't like this here.
Like,
Big rip, yeah.
COVID-19 was just nature's way of saying, go back. Let's
Facts.
go back a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, even if it's not helping humanity, it's really helping the environment. Like, oh boy, all of us humans, we're having a hard time. Okay, but what happens if your whole planet's having a hard time? No more human, no more animal. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
So, in a way, it's really bad for us, but for the Earth itself, it's doing pretty good. I would say it might have gotten a little bit of a boost in, like, ooh, I'm gonna be okay for like maybe 2 more months. But other than that, I know that it did help a few animals too.
Fossil fuels are dying out. Not
Yeah.
in the sense that we're running out of it, but slowly, people are stopping
switching
to electric, yeah.
Yeah. We're probably not gonna find every species of animal because of how many people don't want to look for certain things. Like, I would say we're gonna eventually run out of doctors and teachers because who wants to
People
educate?
don't want to go into them.
Yeah,
do
who
they?
wants to educate anyone if they're not gonna make money out of it? People are more willing to go to OnlyFans than help kids learn. So
Oh God.
no, so when you're at a type of, and this is the saddest part, honestly, when you have all these people that are putting their lives at stake to help others, there's not going to be a lot of people that are willing to do that for them, like, to others in the future. Like, this generation that experienced the pandemic, they're going to be like, I don't know if I want to be a nurse.
We're
Maybe
gonna
not
be the
everyone.
generation that to clean up the current generation's
Exactly.
mess.
That's every generation. And if we mess up, then the next generation before us have to help. Because I hope that not all of us are horrible people, because I've bumped into some horrible kids our age. But I would say from this group of people I found, you guys are the best, like, people I've found. Like,
Yeah.
besides
The
one guy.
people who aren't the people who aren't interested or like just completely not interested, they're gonna
Yeah.
be people who end up at job centres, who are
Mhm.
homeless, who are the people who don't care about getting their exam grades and stuff.
Yeah,
People who mess
exactly.
about in classes.
And with the more type
Um,
of, yeah, sorry, continue.
No, I mean with getting a bit older and you going to your exams towards the end of your school, you get
Yeah.
people start to take it a bit more seriously, but there's still lots of people who don't.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
with,
so
yeah, sorry,
never
continue.
mind, you continue.
Yeah. And with the more people we have that, are looking up to these YouTubers and they're looking up to, let's say, these business gurus where they're like, you can make money overnight just doing stocks, even though they're like scamming you. Or like you can make money overnight if you're doing Forex or something like that. When people are looking up to these type of people, and majority of us are looking up to these people because we're all on the internet. This generation is just internet savvy as heck. So when we're like this, who in their right mind will be like, oh, you know what I want to be when I grow up? I'm going to be a firefighter or I'm going to be a nurse. But you never know. I mean, it's still possible, but the possibility of this is going to be very low. Oh, I want to be a
The rates of people who
scientist.
want to do it is
Yeah.
low.
Yeah.
I know a couple, like someone wants to be a politician because they've gone through. I know someone who wants to be the new health secretary in the UK because
Yeah.
they've gone through our school system and they've realised that it's the worst thing ever,
Yeah.
and they want to fix it. Because in I don't know if it's like the same, but in England we're
Mhm.
given, so we're like, for a physics exam you have to remember all of the equations. You're not given any of them. So
Yeah.
it's not about applying your knowledge anymore. It's about, can you remember this? It's a memory test effectively,
Facts.
whilst you're having to apply your knowledge. So as much as they're going like, oh, the amounts of fails are getting much higher, it's because the exams are much harder. So
Yeah.
they're ruining, and like that then cuts off the amount of job opportunities, because certain jobs need, like, if you want to be a nurse, you need to have decent GCSEs or exam
Mhm.
equivalent.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
run out of
so
military people. Okay, continue, sorry.
yeah, so I have a diary. My memory is pretty bad, so I started it hoping that, you know, I could keep track of what I'm doing. I could do this, do that. I can remember, basically.
Yeah.
So in this, I wrote something about generations and their different strengths and how they affect the generations after and before. So to put it this way, each generation is built to do a certain task, and they're shaped by the world around them. As kids,
Mhm.
our tools, the things we learn from, are the things that we play with. The things that we grow up with are the things that we, you know, the things that we are inspired by. The problems in this current world are the problems that we'll want to address in the future.
100%.
In World War One, the generation that grew up at that time, the the people who fought in World War One, they were mostly young people,
Yeah.
teens and young adults. Those people grew up in a world where it was rough.
Yeah.
It demanded both physical and emotional strength, and so they became an extremely resilient force.
No wonder
They
we have so many Trump supporters.
they became strong and they became smart because death was knocking at everybody's door. It became, you know, it became hard to live. You had
Mhm.
to adapt because that's what humans are good at, adapting. Move on, World War One, and then the next generation was focused on rebuilding that. So sociability, they're more stable in the sense of fixing things. The generation after that fought in World War Two, so then it had to go back. They had to be resilient again. And then it
Mhm.
just goes on and on. Then you have the Vietnam War. Those people, you know,
Yeah.
grew up again to be more resilient. And then it comes to millennials in our generation. We're built to spread out. We're built to be sociable. Using what we have now, we're more social.
We're very social. Well, I would say some of us. I would say the best thing this generation's good at is understanding other people with differences. Like, we're the most open-minded generation I can think
Yeah,
of.
exactly.
Like,
We're less
besides one
we're
person
much
in
less
this
racist and
podcast.
homophobic and stuff.
Yeah, like, the generations before us, they're like, "Ugh, what are you?" And then you're like this guy who likes dresses or something. And
Yeah.
then they're like, "Oh, you gotta stop that, or you're gonna get arrested or something," you know? Like, they were sexist, they were homophobic, they were, anti anything that was different. And the good thing about us, if they see someone, gay, they're like, "Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine with me," you know? We're all like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
the
this is
people who
normal."
aren't okay with it are a small minority.
Yeah, and they're like the older
It's
guys.
not like the people who are okay with it are a small minority. It's the opposite
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it has changed, and that's the best part about, having different generations. We always change and adapt. And if you look at YouTube, who is every YouTuber targeting? Is it people that are older? Oh, no, it's not. It's definitely people that are our age, maybe even younger than that, like 9, 10, 7, 5. They're always trying to change the minds of the younger people because we're good at adapting, changing our experience. Well, we always will have different experiences. We're we're like I forgot what one of you said earlier, like when another, like an older generation gives birth to another generation, they're usually stronger scientifically, correct? Like someone
Yeah.
said that. Yeah. So,
Brilliant, yeah.
yeah. So, with that being said, we're stronger based on biology. We're stronger based on, not just genetics, but
Mentally.
mentally, yeah. Even though we have a lot of depression, all that other stuff. But other than that, other than that,
I
Yeah,
find that
every
we're
person has mental problems.
yeah, almost
Because
every
if you
person has
that
mental
whole
problems.
more
one,
sociable.
whole
Yeah,
one
never mind.
would have had PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, because they will be having their flashbacks to the war.
Mm-hmm.
So every generation will have mental issues.
That's
I
true.
find
Just
that
we
more
understand more
sociable.
about research.
I find that more sociable generations tend to be more sensitive in the terms of with their we tend to have more problems, and that's a good thing because
Yeah,
then we're able to solve these problems so
that's
that the
true.
later generations we can improve on the current foundation. It's good to have problems because we have things to
Mm-hmm.
solve.
And what I
And for us,
love,
it may
yeah,
seem, like we're always sad, we're always moody. That's a good thing because then we can
mm-hmm.
advise the next generation on how not to be sad and how
True.
not to be this way, on how not to be terrible at
I feel like our generation, we have parents that either are going to be nice to us or really, really crapped up, So when we have that type of stuff and the internet, we're going to be doing research. And I love this about just having the internet. We're always looking into something new. We're always making something new, whether that's memes or we're just Googling something that no one's actually heard of, but you find it and you make it popular because, some of us have platforms. And that's the coolest part about, this generation. We're always seeking to help other people. Not all of us, but a lot of us are seeking to help other people, and with that type of socialness, we'll be probably weaker when it comes mentally, but we're stronger when it comes to figuring out what is wrong with us. And we're always trying to figure out what's wrong with us, and that's the best part. We're trying, at least, besides other
Have I said
generations
this
before us.
before?
Huh?
Have I said this before?
Yeah, I was just saying,
You
like,
have to break. No, no, no.
huh?
You have
Oh.
to break yourself to put yourself back together.
Yeah, exactly. You just
I
yeah,
think
you
I
actually
said that
haven't said
before.
that.
Yeah.
No, you haven't said that, actually. I mean, you were talking about, how the pandemic helped you, but yeah, you have to kind of break pieces of yourself and then refix it, It's like, when you have problems, you're gonna try to, discover how to be better, and that's something that we do very well. We're always trying to we're always trying to get better, that's what I should say, so, yeah.
Smash the glass and make a sculpture out of it.
Yes. That reminds me of this one thing from BoJack Horseman. I never heard of this until I saw BoJack Horseman, where bowl or whatever broke, they would paint it with glass or cover it with glass. So then it would look pretty while it was broken. So, yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I have another question. Really quick. No, I actually don't. Okay. You guys want to end it off here, or you have something else to say?
Well, going back to the generations thing, the past generations also shape the future generations, right?
Yeah.
So it's our job to ensure that the next generations, our children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren, even, we should coerce them into thinking, and for not only for their survival, but for everyone's survival, to solve problems together, not parallel, to to think similarly instead of dissimilarly, not in like the way we think the same, but
Yeah.
think
Communism.
have like the same, have work together, simply put.
Mhm. It's like
Um,
yeah, sorry.
No, continue.
Sorry, I always feel like I have to apologize because I don't want to cut people off. That's not my goal. So I 100% understand what you're saying. So basically, when we're trying to build up the next generation, we want them to work with other people. And so that reminds me of equality and equity. The difference between equality and equity, when someone is disabled and someone, isn't disabled, you'll want to give them something to, like, sit on, like, so while they have already problems of their own, they're still, getting help. And then you have someone that is, they're fine. They don't need anything to really help them out. So when it comes to equality, it's like they both have to, both stand when of course, this disabled person where they can't move their legs, they can't stand. So I always look at equity in a way where it's like we all have our different problems, but if we work together, maybe differently because we're not all the same, we can get things done. That's how I see it.
It's like that baseball diagram thing that they always show with the three people and then the wooden fence and the boxes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
The
know what you're
height
talking about.
differences between them.
Mhm.
There's equality, everybody gets the same box, and the shortest person there can't see. And then there's equity, the shortest person gets the most boxes. And then there's just extreme problem solving and geniusness, where
Yeah.
instead of having a wooden fence, you have the iron fence that has, holes
Mhm.
in it, so everybody can see.
Facts.
If we thought like that, then yeah, I guess the world would definitely be a better place.
100%. I love equality, but equity is the best form of, like, working together because we all have to understand that we're all different. And that's what makes this pandemic, in its own way, about equity. Because when we're all very different and we're all having different experiences, we're all different ages, different, sexes, whether we're female, male, non binary, we all got different things. And when you say to equally handle, like, when, how to explain this? So, globally, we all have different problems when it comes to the pandemic. Some people are having more problems with, oh, we're all dying. Other places are having problems where, oh, we're all losing our jobs. And, like, it's just, oh, we're hungry because of the pandemic and we can't, get to work to go do this and that. We're all having different problems. If we handle this in a way where it's more about equity, it's like, oh, this person, they can't eat. How about these people that can eat gives their food to this guy? Oh, you guys are losing your jobs. I don't know how to make a solution for that, but there is some way, somewhere in the world could help them. And I feel like if we all use equity on the pandemic, whether there's people that have asthma, there's people that are the Karens, you got people that are doing everything they can and they still get sick, or someone has a carrier and they give someone else the virus. If we used equity, we could get this figured out, I believe. I feel like that would make the most sense for this pandemic. Well, yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Ren, do you have anything else to say?
No.
Okay. I guess that's it. So we're gonna turn up the lofi music and let them listen to it, but really quick, I just want to say thank you for listening to the last podcast of I wouldn't say season 1, but for now, we'll come out with the next couple episodes, maybe hopefully next week. I probably not likely. In maybe 2 or 3 months. So if you can wait just a little bit longer, we'll have more episodes for you. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back. This has been the Rose Talks, and yeah, see you later.